Well. It's that time of year. It's that time for a brand new championship of the year. And it is time for the new era of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club to get underway. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to round one of the 2025 GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. 8 rounds of racing is about to get kick-started here today. The wait is finally over, and goosebumps are array of this crowd here, this packed crowd here for the Belgium Grand Prix. Whether you're sitting at home, at work, or wherever you are watching this event, this one is going to be the biggest race you're going to be seeing from us in a long time. So many signups, over 15 drivers have signed up here for today's events. We have done all our work to get to this point right here. After Race of Champions with Luca Andretti's title going 2 for 2, CMRSC, we are looking for our next alien in CMRSC. We left off last year with the fight between Andy Rees and Mike Van Toren. We also left off the year with so many drivers and amazing talents looking to make an impact here in GT3. We have brand new debuts from all around the world, different teams joining us here in CMRSC. It's time to get this new era begun here today as the drivers on circuit now doing their last bit of practice. It's the last bit of practice they're going to be doing after a long, grueling 2 weeks of over 27 drivers putting in laps. 27 drivers signing up for the championship. Many different manufacturers. Mercedes, BMW, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Ford, and McLaren. Don't forget about Lamborghini. All these drivers have put their practice in, and it's for this moment right here. This for the start of a brand new era in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. We say this is what it's all about. This is a brand new year for another season in CMRSC. It's about to get underway here with the drivers now on track for the Belgium Grand Prix. putting their last bits of practice in this final 5 minutes before we get into the action here today. CMRSC live here for the Belgium Grand Prix. We hope you enjoy the show here today, because it's going to be a massive one. 13 concurrent viewers watching, and we're just in practice, because qualifying is about to get underway very shortly. And then the racing is going to be something spectacular out here. What is going to happen here today? Who is going to be our first race winner in this brand new era of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club? If you're just tuning into the stream, you have not missed a single bit of action, because we are still yet to get racing underway here today. We're going to have some 15-minute session of qualifying, and then we're going to get the action truly underway here today. It's the CMRSC GT World Challenge 2025, powered by the Racing Rats. Thank you so much to TRR for allowing us to use your amazing machinery here on track, and you're gonna see what the best of the best sim racers from all around the world can do in some of sim racing's finest race cars, GT3. As the drivers all in broadcast chat, there's too many to count. How many are there in here? As we get this one ready to go, we have Jenna in the chat as well as Austin. Welcome, welcome. And to the many who's not chatting and is just joining to watch us, if you can, hit that subscribe button. It would help us out so much, as we are on course for 650 subscribers. We've had such a long journey, starting us off back in 2021. And then we've just had year after year with just amazing championships, amazing drivers and talents, aliens that you never expect to see come here and race with us. We've been watched down by some of the greatest sim racers, including real life drivers. Shout out to Will Power from IndyCar, an IndyCar champion, checking us out at one point. We have many faces showing up here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Let's just go through some of them. Andy Rees, Oswin Wilson, Oliver Bloch, Marlon Young, Sean Lee, Anderson Baiano, Klaus Klint. And then we have some new drivers here. Evan Steinberg from the US. Let's follow it up. Classics here. Martin Webster, Danny Nasir, Andrew Rutner-Ryan. Who else do we have here on the list? Brandon Smith, all of them sitting in pits for now. Jarrell Moore, welcome back. The guy needs, we have 2 minutes left to go before we get the action underway. Ryan Maramiri in the pits as well. Welcome back from Diamond Racing, teaming up with Andrew Rutner-Ryan. And then we have some more newcomers here that's just sitting in the pits, waiting for the right times to strike. This is Enzo, who currently sits P16 or P15. Then we have Lance Nasir. And then Henry Vanderheyden in the Lamborghini, making his debut from Canada. Stephen Bola in P18 in the Audi. He's currently chasing down Oswin Wilson, a fellow Guyanese. And then, not Lewis Hamilton, but he may be quick as Hamilton. This is Ash Hamilton in the Mercedes. Beautiful livery there. Great purple livery on the car. Well, we do have an HAM, a ham, on the leaderboard next to a Mercedes, so don't get confused. But Ash Hamilton is a special driver, and we're going to see him on track very soon. Then, of course, P20, but he's not going to be 20th for that long. It is Mike Van Dorn. 20 drivers in the session here. I am very excited. That grid you see, it's all stacked of all the drivers ready to go racing. I am so excited to get this brand new season underway. And if you are to, hit that subscribe button. And if not, if you need a bit of convincing, just wait till the racing gets underway and you're going to see some of the best racing on here on YouTube. So stick around and enjoy this action that goes down here today. We also have Mr. S Pixel, but he's also known as our 2024 Caribbean Motor Racing Sim champion, Luca Andretta, who's on a part-time schedule, who's just gonna watch the drivers from afar back. He's gonna sit back knowing that he's a 6-time champion in CMRSC. You truly cannot get more special than that man, the Swiss Superman, Luca Andretta. But Luca, we're trying to find your replacement here today, and we're gonna see who is gonna be the driver who leads us off in the championship standings here for Race of Champions. So as the checkered flag is out here, the drivers are now going to be heading into the pits. Hope you love the new leaderboard on the side. Pretty nice looking there. But we are here for the Belgium Grand Prix. Krogsgaard in the chat, good luck from Portugal. My man's on vacation. We'll see Mads very soon in this championship, that's for sure. So, as the drivers now finishing up their laps, let's go around, let's see who is on a lap here. That's Jarrell Moore. Remember, we are still in practice. Qualifying is to get underway very shortly. As there we see Mike Van Doorn there, fastest lap. Actually, P2. He is not fastest, but now sitting into the pits. So a couple more drivers still on track. There is Steinberg on track in the Mustang. Beautiful sounding car. Let's take a listen to it. Listen to that whine. Wow. Amazing sounding car there. The first time the Ford GT3 is making its debut in CMRSC. And he's gonna come around. Now remember, this is still practice. Qualifying about to get underway, so don't miss out on it. 15 minutes of qualifying session. You're gonna see these drivers put in their best lap times, and we're gonna see who takes pole position here for the first round. And there we go. That is it. So we are 30 seconds away from getting this one started. We're going to take a quick intermission, and we'll be back. So we're about to get this one underway here. Thank you for holding on. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club about to see ourselves our first qualifying session of the year should be very awesome. Already 44 total views onto the stream. The support has been absolutely incredible here for this first round here for the Belgium Grand Prix. We're just loading back into the session here. Whether you want to see my pretty face or not, I am here. So we're getting right back into the session. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's first round of the new era. 2025 sees the first round, the Belgium Grand Prix for the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. We're just not too long until we get back in this session here, and then we're going to see qualifying get underway. The drivers so eager to get racing once again. It was the week before Christmas is when we last had racing here. But as the drivers now head back into the session, including myself, we're gonna see these drivers go head to head up in there. So back in the session here as we swap over to the main feed. There we go. So qualifying is going to get underway very shortly as we're just getting every single person into the server here. We're not leaving no person behind. We want all drivers to race out here. It's been such a long time. We've been troubleshooting all day long. We have Nicholas Sucre in the chat. So excited to see this race. I bet you are. Alright, so all drivers are in the session. We can get qualifying underway now. Alright, let's get this one underway here. Alright, let's go notify the drivers.
It's 70 liters.
Alright, we're gonna advance qualifying right now.
I need 96 liters.
So if you're on track, just head to the pits right now, and we're gonna get started on qualifying. So is the drivers all in chip? Yep, they're all in the pits now, so we can get this one underway. So, as the drivers sit in the pits, ready to go.
Single car quali?
Multi-car.
Nope.
So, as all the drivers sitting in pits, there you see them revving up their engines. All the drivers ready to go racing. It's time for round one, qualifying here for the Belgium Grand Prix. And guess what? You won't believe it, but it is next. And welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's round one for this amazing championship. This is the 2025 CMRSC GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. It's the Belgium Grand Prix, and it's time to get right back into work here as qualifying is underway here at Belgium. A very large track, big forests, long lap time, so it's a lot of space for these drivers to really muscle out and have some fun out here, that's for sure. As the drivers now coming around the circuit, let's go trackside here. And let's watch the drivers come around. And in fact, let's find our driver who's at the front of the queue, as we already have Bola going off the track, trying to make some room. But it is this man, Mike Van Doren, who came oh so close to that Race of Champions championship, but unfortunately could not get it done that time around. But this time, it's a little bit different. So, lots of drivers in the session here. Many of them joining us from all around the world. In fact, we gotta extend this leaderboard here, and let's check out how many more drivers we have on track. There we go. So, here we go. Mike Van Doorn, the Flying Dutchman as we call him. He's going to be the first driver to set the footsteps around here, and we're going to see what is the lap time that the drivers are going to be having to beat. Interestingly, with the Flying Dutchman, he chose not to do all his practice on the server and instead decided to hide his talents until we got on to race day. So, high expectations coming from the Dutchman, and we're gonna see what he can put out on track. So here we go, Mike Van Doorn, and we're gonna take it away right now. We're gonna watch how he does on track. Driver's eye as we go up the hill here for Eau Rouge. Very hard to see. Let's go just on the hood right there. And there we go, flying on the straight now. Looking into his first chicane here. Hard onto the brakes, into the right-hander. Gotta be very smooth over these curbs. Pretty aggressive onto the left-hander there. And then you just want to keep the momentum up as we get onto the straight over here now. Heading into the downhill hairpin. And you want to accelerate out as soon as possible into No Name, left-hander. Don't hear too much shifting there. Now we see, oh, looks a little bit wide there. As we head up now into the double gosh section. Here comes Van Doorn. Want to stay within track limits as best as he can. Has to shift down quite a bit. And he gets going now. So there you see him past our screens there. Heading into the next couple of chicanes here. Slow and steady around there. Currently purple, and he's still set purple in the first sector. Into Campus. The first of the two right-handers, and then the second one, Stavolo. And can he keep it within track limits? Oh, and he's off! Hits the gravel. Still keeps it pushing. But unfortunately, that is not going to be a good lap time to take on, as somebody's already taken Sector 1. Purple already in the first sector for somebody. Out on track. Bit of a lift. Gets right back on. And then heading into the bus stop for the first time here. On an official lap. Is it an official lap? Hops over the curb. Goes a little bit wide there. And then on to the straight. It's going to be a quick qualifying, folks. Mike Van Doorn with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Sets the first fastest lap. And the driver's going to be chasing down that 220.219. What are the other drivers saying? 223.997 from Hamilton. It's 5 minutes already left to go here. Danny Nasir, no, unable to set a lap time. So a lot of drivers invalid laps in this qualifying session. Very interesting. So it could be anybody's game still, but it could be also preparation laps. You don't know that until we see how these drivers do as they get around to the start-finish line. Brandon Smith, though, P3 with a 228. So a lot of drivers going in for the first flyer, and then others are just going to go for a prep lap. So strategies, different strategies all around the board. One thing's for sure, we are really in for a treat here, as this could be an already mystery pole position. Who is it going to be? Incredible already. As Klaus Klint already takes it up to a 221.37. Oh, and take a look at this. Andy Reyes has taken provisional pole. It's a 217.412 in the BMW. Takes pole position out of nowhere. It's provisional, of course, but the Danish driver is not here to make friends. He's here to get some wins under his belt. And he's already gonna do that, and he's already on provisional pole. Andy Rees, what a lap time from him. What do the other drivers do about that? Van Doorn, very close on his lap. Remember, he went wide on Stavolo, so this could potentially be a lap time to take on. Couple other drivers just off there. And this one is going to be a close qualifying. Already at the top. 4/10 down, however. Van Doren, that's not going to be a lap to write home about. There's Sean Lee in the McLaren, currently sitting P18. A lot of these drivers still yet to make their first flyers here, but the top three, Rees, Dorn, Van Dorn, and Clint. BMW, Aston Martin, McLaren. Top three. Sean Lee now goes up into P11. Another preparation lap. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left to go. They're running out of time. Spa is a huge, huge track. It's a very hard one to nail down, that's for sure. So, as we see Danny Nasir now goes up into P5. Going to be shuffled down because Marlon Young is on the second row with a 2:21. 0.75. Gonna pull that one into the pits. He's gonna have one more attempt at it. There's Baiano in the Ford Mustang. 2:21.051. These lap times are getting closer. Even Van Dorn, 2:18. But nobody's touching Andy Rees' lap time. He's not improving. So still a chance that these drivers have to take down the Danish superstar. And take a look at that. Klaus, the original Viking, just ahead of him. And you can see Andy Rees warming up his tires as he gets ready to go for a flyer. 2 minutes left to go here in qualifying. A couple drivers still without a time. Vanderheyden is one of them in his debut in the Lamborghini. We also have Lance Nasir as well as Enzo, the Brazilian now. Actually puts in a first lap of a 2:52, so he's actually going to join the list of valid laps there. Take a look at how close those laps are, though, in comparison. P1, P2, 5, almost 6/10 the difference. So Andy Rees already making it apparent to say, this is my yard now. He's the one to beat, and he wants to be the one to beat. It was very close in the ROC 2024, but a slew of mistakes did not allow him the title, and he fell behind Luca Andretti, who did take that championship. He's out for revenge. Here comes Lance Nasir, the Canadian, in the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3 Evo. P19 for him. He goes up into P16, and we're just under a minute left to go here in this qualifying session. And Andy Rees is not improving. Actually, who is improving is this man, Mike Van Dorn. And Van Dorn now, pushing with all his might. Chance at pole? Who knows? As Wilson takes P2. Takes it away in the third sector. He went purple. And take a look at the time. He's almost matching Andy Rees. Just under a 10th. Eyes are on Van Dorn as well. What can he do? We're taking a look at our total timings overall, and we're trying to find out. His checkered flag is also out. Andy Rees found purple in the middle sector. Trying to go quicker. He has the threat of Oswin Wilson. Oswin pits, however. He's had a crash. He takes it into the pits. Bit of smoke up the road. Checkered flag, though, is out for these drivers. What's going to happen here? Andy Rees around the bus stop. Has a bit of a tow here. Can this be improvement of his 2:17.412 across the line? Yes, it is! It's a 2:16.960! What a lap time! That could be pole position entirely! Van Dorn's in the pits as well! All our top drivers in the pit lane! What a flyer there! For the Danish driver! Incredible lap! That was absolutely huge. Cannot wait to see what that lap looked like. You can find the pole position lap time uploaded every Mondays of the week at 1 p.m. EST. And you get to see how that lap looked at, because we definitely have to see how spectacular a 2:16 is. Qualifying still not over yet. We're watching Anderson Baiano. He's in the Ford, the Brazilian now. Is a great qualifying so far from him. He's currently sitting 4th position. Into campus now, stays within the track limits. Into Stavolo, 2.6 though, off on this lap, however. As Sean Lee goes up into 4th position in the McLaren, 2:21.92. Good lap time from him. Who's the next driver to come across? It's Danny Nasir in the McLaren, goes up into P5. It's a McLaren 4.5. Can Baiano spoil the party in the Ford? What can the Brazilian do in this dying stage here of qualifying? Comes across the line now. P6 stays 6th position. P13 of Rupner Ryan, and I think that is Bola behind him. Yes, it is. Both of them racing to the line. 2 drivers yet to put in their lap. Oh, wide there. That's an invalid lap time, unfortunately. Stephen Bola not gonna be able to do anything about it. We're watching Rupner Ryan in the Coca-Cola Ford. Last effort. Let's see what he can do. Across to the line. P13, he stays right now. Can he crack the top 10? No, he cannot. He stays there. And Bola, with an invalid lap, is going to come across anyways. Andy Rees is going to take pole position, however, in the first round of the championship. Let's go congratulate our drivers. All right, good qualifying there. Congratulations. The top 3, Andy Rees, Oswin Wilson, and Mike Van Dorn. Very good qualifying from you guys. So, just before we get into the race, I'll let you know just the quick starting procedure. Rolling start. So, as soon as the lights go out, don't anticipate when the lights go out. We're going to be very slow off the line. Our front 2 drivers, you're going to be controlling the pace. We need 80 to 100 kilometers. Please try your best not to be slamming the brakes and trying to anticipate the start, because that's going to be determined by race direction when we go green. As for the drivers who qualified 3rd and below, you're just going to be following the pace of what the driver does ahead. Don't anticipate the start. We're going to be staying 2 by 2 as much as possible throughout the start of the race. So as soon as the lights go out, we're going to be going 2 by 2 around Spa. As soon as we get onto the back straight, I will be directing all drivers to get in a 2 by 2 formation if they have decided to go in a single file formation. Then,
so are we going on the back straight, or are we going on the start finish line?
Yeah, on the start.
On the start. Okay.
It'll be, yeah, so as I was saying, so we're going to be doubling 2 by 2 as we're on the back straight. Once again, it'll be strict 80 to 100 kilometers. Race direction will let you know, but as soon as we get off the grid, that will be determined by Andy Rees and Oswin Wilson at the front 2. Warming up your tires, don't be too aggressive on it, because Assetto Corsa, it's very difficult to warm up your tires overall, and weaving and aggressive weaving is not going to help your case. So you can do minimum weaving, but be respectful of where you're weaving, and if you take yourself out, we will be putting you at the back of the grid for the start. So, you know, just be patient, and as soon as we get racing underway, that's when you guys can really have fun out there. So remember, we'll be going green on the start finish. And yeah, so we're just going to advance the session. I'm not too sure why we've not advanced just yet. But I'll advance it just
Oliver's not in yet.
Oh, is he loading?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta restart my PC, but I'm on my way in now.
All right, no problem.
I just want to throw in a couple of things there from an administration perspective, guys. Big bunch, grid of 20s, so it's a short dash to turn 1, which is pretty much a hairpin. So, you know, it's pretty much a potential for a big accident. So just be careful. Don't take each other out on turn 1. Race is not won on turn 1. It's a long race, long track, lots of opportunities.
No restarts either. You guys are racing. So be mindful. Don't be throwing yourself out there into a dive bomb or anything like that. It's a long race. Mistakes will happen. Strategies are in play. Try your best to stay safe out there. And of course, like, we'll look at all incidents after the race. If somebody does take you out, let's try our best to keep calm in the voice chat as well. Let's not pick arguments, not pick fights. And yeah, anything else we'll discuss after the race. And yeah.
A long race as well. So even if you get a little bit of an issue at the beginning, you know, there's an opportunity to catch up back and get a good position down the road. So don't get frustrated and quit out. Just hang in there. There's a good opportunity to make up positions.
So racing is about to get underway. We're gonna be on
all
the
over
grid.
said this game crashed.
Yeah.
Once again, oh man, a minute and 40.
Who's having trouble?
If I
Well,
can.
it's a minute. It's a
can
minute
join.
40 plus the race time.
He's
Like
probably
countdown,
getting
yeah.
like that he's been voted to being kicked again.
Oh, well, I can't help. That's yeah, it's an issue that had to be solved before the stream. I mean,
No, let him
keep
quit out
trying to
and come
join.
back in.
Yeah, keep trying to join, especially like once the even though we're grid formed on the track. If you do get in and you're in the pits, you're free to come out and line up
All right.
anytime in the
Yeah.
race. Yeah, that's the best thing we can do.
Even if you get in while we're doing the formation lap, you could maybe still catch up.
Actually, that's your best bet. You're right, Mike. Because sometimes you get trouble getting in, but once the race is going, you can probably get in on a formation lap and catch up with it back. Good point.
So, first race of the championship, always from an admin perspective, very busy around here. It's a little bit off cue for the time. We should have been racing 10 minutes ago. But, it's just the first round. This is what we expect all the time. But, I know you guys are very anxious to get this one underway. Frame Pratab and Roll Pratab in the chat. Happy New Year's. Lots of drivers for the start of the year. Nice. Yep, over 20. So, this is going to be a fantastic chance of racing. We're 14 seconds left to go to the drivers are on the grid. It's gonna be a rolling start.
While
So
we're waiting for the countdown, just I know Raul go over it with you guys, but just remind you guys the real penalty. There's cuts or rouge and other places, so it's pretty tempting to go flat through some spots. But even though you may not look like you're having a problem, at the end of the race, if you've got X amount of cuts, you could be losing time. So you could be losing 5-10 seconds. I don't know what the format is, but you will be losing time. So if you're right up behind a guy and you're pushing, cutting tracks, you might end up 10 seconds behind him. So just be mindful to stay within track.
Yeah, it's a 10-second penalty if you go over.
There you go. So I mean, pushing too hard to pass a guy and then all of a sudden, you exceed track limits, then you're 10 seconds behind him.
Potato fan saying this is gonna be an epic race indeed. Look at
Alright,
that
well,
grid. Oh
Oliver,
my
you got
gosh.
3 minutes until the formation lap. So.
All right.
Take a look at that grid. Beautiful. So is the drivers now ready to go racing here for this first round of this
Make sure
championship.
to check your setups.
Somebody's got their TV on.
Bit
You
strategy.
hear it?
Yeah, you're right. Make sure your setups are loaded there. Very good.
Yep. Yeah, very important. Make sure those setups are good to go. You have your strategies. You can also use your D-pad on your steering wheel as well as the arrow keys on your keyboard. Make sure you have your fuel set, your tire set, everything's good to go. So once you enter the pits, it's not like the pit crew is taking a nap. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and we can finally get this show underway. Remember, it's going to be a rolling start. I'll go over again what goes on. So Andy Rees and Osmond Wilson will control the pace. It'll be 80 to 100 kilometers, their choice. Once you're off the grid, just remember who's around you, who's behind you, who's beside you, because that's who you're going to be lining up as we're on the back straight, rolling to the start. We're going to be going 80 kilometers as soon as we bunch everybody up on the back straight, but at the start here, don't worry about your pace. Just manage who's ahead of you and just be slow enough that you're not running into the rear of them. We're going to be going around just once. Once the green flag drops, that'll be determined by me. I'll be saying green flag, and that's when we will be going racing. So that's your heads up there. Overall, let's have a good one. If there is a pileup or any crash, we're going to keep it racing. We're not going to be restarting. We're going to keep this one racing to the very end. Incidents can happen. Try your best to stay out there as much as you can. It's a long race, over 20 drivers, so anything and everything is going to go down here today. Overall, and all we ask is for you to be a safe driver, be respectful to everybody around you. In terms of the voice chats, let's keep it clean, respectful in here. Let's use it as less as possible. This chat is not here for communication, and it's not here to have a banter with your friends. This is strictly for communicating on track if there's blue flags or anything you want to communicate with others. Other than that, this is gonna be a fun race. Let's have fun. 50 seconds, and I'll be directing you guys slowly on what to do. But 45 seconds, make sure you have hit the steering wheel so you're able to see your car. Make sure you're not jumping the start. As soon as the lights go out, just follow the car ahead of you. Remember, we're gonna be going 2 by 2 at the back straight, but if you can remember who's around you, you can go single file if you want to warm up your tires. But remember, if you take yourself out, if you spin yourself out, you're going to the back of the grid.
Also, in turn 1, please be careful. You're gonna have cold brakes, so...
We're gonna let those two decide that. Let's get this one underway here. Lights are out here at Belgium. Welcome to the Belgium Grand Prix. Round 1 of the championship. The GT World Challenge powered by AC. The drivers now on to the main circuit now. And we're about to get this one underway here. An amazing qualifying went down. And now it is time to get this one underway. Over 20 drivers enter the fray. Only one can call himself the champion. And the winner today. So there's all the drivers. Alright, so this pace is amazing. Keep that up. Respect the drivers ahead of you, behind you. Give some space, because we're not going green until we get onto the back straight. Leaders, you can put your pace up to 100 kilometers. 100 kilometers.
The back straight or the front straight?
Back straight. Back straight. Sorry, what was
I
that?
thought you said on the finish line we're going green.
On the back straight, we're going to be doubling up, and then you're going to have to let go of the mic, Danny.
Yeah, once we come out of the bus stop, then we go green, right?
Yes, but I will direct that. So yeah, you guys are going to stay like this till we get to the back straight. Back straight is especially when we want 2 by 2. On the start-finish line, as soon as we see all the drivers on, that's when we will go green. I will be determining when we go green. So, here we go. So take a look at that grid order. So it was Andy Rees who took pole position with Oswin Wilson in P2. Mike Van Dorn was 3rd. Sean Lee, P4. P5 will go to Danny Nasir, followed by Anderson Baiano. Then it's Klaus Marlin. Let's go down the grid. Let's see more drivers. Martin Webster, Stephen Bola, Evan Steinberg, Ash Hamilton, Andrew Rupner-Ryan, Brandon Smith, Jarrell Moore, Ryan Marmiri, Lance Nasir, Enzo and Henry decide the rear of the grid. Take a look, though, of this pack of cars. This is absolutely iconic. And
Very good, but you guys checked up, man.
yeah, try your best not to check up. It's better to just roll slow than to hit your brakes. Remember, you want to be as predictable as possible, especially during this rolling start, because this can easily cause a huge crash, but you guys are doing very well. Looks amazing here on the stream side. Keep it up, guys. And I'll let you know when we get this action underway. But take a look at this. This is absolutely awesome. This is how we start the new era of Caribbean motor racing.
Hey, Cavallo, you're supposed to drop back. You're behind me.
We'll make sure on the back straight everybody is properly formatted. So here we go as they enter through campus. The 45-minute mark is what we're looking for. We might be able to start a minute early, which is even more awesome. Look at this.
Everywhere you're going.
It's back straight. You're just going to be listening to me for my command.
Yeah, but they're driving by people, man. You're not staying behind them.
Just let me control it. Lance this here, but getting very antsy as he wants this one underway. So drivers are on the back straight. All right, line yourself up accordingly as best as you can. The bus stop chicane, we're gonna still go 2 by 2. It's gonna be very tight through there, so make sure you're going slow around. as race direction, we're going to be making sure all drivers are on the front straight. That's when we're going to sound it off. So remember, get 2x2 right now. Get 2x2 right now. Do not slam on your brakes. Andy, Oswin, this pace is perfect. Keep it at that. Keep it 2x2. Remember, the bus stop is going to come up. It's a very tight chicane. And I will be sounding it off. I will let you guys know when we go racing. You're just here to hear me out. But I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined us here for today's race. A packed grid. Let's have fun out there. Get ready for my command for this first race of the year. So as drivers, line up 2x2x2x2x2.
If you want to pass, go ahead and pass.
And they head on to the front straight now. This is it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get this one underway. As the drivers are on the front straight, it is time to sound it off.
Move your car. I will move your car.
Green flag, green flag, green flag. And his driver's already underway now. Let's get this one underway here. Already 3 wide as we get into turn 1 here. Oswin Wilson on the outside. Mike Van Dorn to the inside. Trying to go through. Gets through. Anderson Baiano facing the wrong way. As well as Stephen Bola back there. Let's get this one underway. I think there also was a car that was struck in on the grid. But not to worry. Andy Reese in the lead right now. Goes wide. Mike Van Dorn up into P2. Look at this. Sean Lee tagged to the rear. Oh, and it's trouble! Oswin Wilson apologizes to him. Is that a car on its roof? Oh, and it's a big carnage! Car's already off the track. It's huge carnage here on the back straight.
Sorry, whoever got in the rear of.
That's what we expect for a hard, long grid. But it's racing time. Here we go. And the front driver's already close. Andy Rees already chasing down Mike Van Dorn. But a lot of drivers getting it wrong at the start of this one. Almost half the grid as they all exit out pits. Oh, Rouge strikes again. You saw, I think it began where I think Oswin Wilson tagged the McLaren of Sean Lee. And then it all went off. But it's green flag racing. We said there's no cautions. We said this type of stuff could happen. But we get this one underway. No more chaos. It's about to get racing here. But it's Van Dorn, Rees, and Wilson, your top 3. They're chasing each other. Danny Nasir, P4. Roop Narayan, P5. A lot of drivers who started in the rear now caught up. Enzo, P6. So 7th Klaus there. As I head on to the back straight, Andy Rees is going to want his lead back in the BMW. Bit of a lift there. Going wide is Van Dorn. And he's going to have to defend with his heart if he wants to keep this one. Oh, and lock up there. Almost Andy Rees sending it into Mike Van Dorn. Best to get settled in for the first lap here successfully. Fastest lap there coming from Van Dorn. So towards the rear of the field, let's take a look at them. There you see Klaus, followed by Enzo. And the Lamborghini of Ryan Maramiri as he's getting challenged now by Brandon Smith. And yes, it did look like we had a struck-in car on the grid. Somebody forgetting to put it into drive or what? As we get this one underway, not to worry, this is still going to be an action-packed race coming your way. 24 viewers watching the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As we're about to get into some proper racing around here. Finally, 2025 is here for racing. Take a look at this on board now with Anderson Baiano. Couple positions being swapped around the board. And Baiano already chasing down Brandon Smith. This is your fight for P9. Meanwhile, oh, it's getting close. Take a look at this. Down to the inside. Can we see the Brazilian now on Brandon Smith? Gets it done. just about getting the braking working too. Meanwhile, side by side for the race lead. Mike Van Dorn on the inside, Andy Rees on the outside. This is the rivalry we were waiting for. This is the rivalry that was brewing to happen here for the Belgium Grand Prix. Van Dorn holds off in the Aston Martin. The BMW is still challenging hard. Andy Rees now trying to look for a move somewhere inside, outside. Where do you choose? Goes a little bit wide into the gravel and loses momentum at it. Here comes Osmond Wilson. 10th, getting quicker and quicker and quicker. 5/10 now, the difference. And Wilson in the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo is challenging fast, looking for second position. But unfortunately can't get done. They head into the bus stop chicane now. Hard, heavy braking lockups all around the board. Heading onto the front straight. It's about a second the difference each for those top drivers. Get that fastest lap on the board as well. So meanwhile, our only retirements we have are Stephen Bola, and I think that is just about it. Meanwhile, oh, big cut there for Mike Van Dorn, as he's now lapping Ash Hamilton. And just up the road there, it's Stephen Bola. So actually, Bola's not retired. He's still in this one. Have we lost any drivers? I'm not too sure. We could potentially have lost one. But this battle for the lead is brewing up heavily now. Oh, Wilson runs a little bit deep there. Danny Nasir is nowhere to be seen. He's on his own. Meanwhile, Ryan has a chance at overtaking Brandon Smith. Side by side on the Camel Straight. Meanwhile, side by side here, looks like Rees has got the lead. Yes, he has. Andy Rees has taken the lead, but Mike Van Dorn slides it. Oh, it's contact for the leaders. Oh, and Andy Rees slides into the wall. Absolutely huge here. Shaken up side by side into the double gosh section. That is absolutely chaos here. Andy Rees shuffled down to third side by side. Racing so hard, and Van Dorn holds on to the lead. Will definitely be looked at after this race, that's for sure. But Mike Van Dorn is holding on with his life on the line. And was that an incident that could potentially give Van Dorn a penalty? We do not know. We'll find out very soon. Osmond Wilson picking up the pieces, however, as he now is up into second position. Rees, though, has not even lost a position to Danny Nasir. He stays third place. Meanwhile, we're back at this battle between Brandon Smith and Ryan Maramiri. As he's trying to push on, Brandon really trying to get this one underway. Oh, and look at that. Controlling the force of his McLaren with just his hands. That's the magical Brandon Smith for you. And here we go. The Lamborghini now chasing down the Brandon Smith now chasing Ryan here. Gets it on the inside, side by side. Ryan goes off the track. And the McLaren gets it done. Back up to the front, though. And let's watch this action here. And chance for Anderson Baiano. He's currently sitting 7th in the Ford. He has his fellow teammate in the Ford. His manufacturer teammate, I will say, who's also in the Ford. That man is Rugner Ryan. He's currently sitting at a P6 right now. Meanwhile, there's Sean Lee, who was taken out at the start by Oswin Wilson. But this crowd is absolutely loving it here today, for the Belgium Grand Prix. Amazing racing all around the board. Sean, though, is chasing down Lance Nasir. Lance is currently sitting P11. Brandon Smith, meanwhile, also chasing down Ryan, trying to look back for this position. He's lost it, and now he wants the position right back for him. The McLaren now. Let's see what he can do. So Ryan in P9, the Canadian. was able to meet up with Ryan once. Saw him at go-karting. He's a very, very aggressive go-kart driver, I will say. Over in the sim, he's pretty quick as well. But Brandon Smith, a lot more experience on the sim. Your former 2023 Daytona 500 winner. Daytona 500 virtual, of course. So he's no stranger to battling up at the front. Meanwhile, here comes Anderson Baiano. And he's chasing down his fellow Ford of Rupner Ride. Fastest lap for Van Doorn. 2:18. Passing there on the inside there. And great move from the Brazilian. Andy Rees is going to take back the fastest lap. 2:17.681. So he's still flying out there. Hard on the brakes now, and Baiano successfully gets the move done. He's up in the 6th. Meanwhile, take a look at this on the outside. Side by side once again. This is where Brandon had the move done the last time. This time, however, he's going to get it done a bit easier. Brandon back up in the 9th. Great battle between those two drivers. Into the bus stop chicane, and Ryan just about gets it slowed down, and he's able to continue racing. So let's look back up out to the front. It's Mike Van Doorn who holds on to the lead, followed by Oswin Wilson, currently sitting 2nd position. Andy Rees has to lap Stephen Bola, but he's currently sitting 3rd with the fastest lap and has that fastest lap point to him. Danny Nasir sits in 4th position. Klaus Klint in 5th. Baiano P6. And Andrew Rupner Ryan P7. Enzo currently sitting P8. Oh, and lockup off the track. Gets back on it. A little bit shaken up in the Ferrari. But he's currently 8th position. P9. It's Ryan Marimiri, which guess what? He got the move back on Brandon Smith. It's like we always see the move done for Brandon, but Ryan is always able to get the move right back. Ryan is up into 9th once again. Brandon Smith fighting very hard to get back this 9th position. There's a lockup there, heavy lockup. You see the amount of smoke that's coming. Is he full locking the steering wheel? You got to imagine. Those front tires are on fire. Meanwhile, Sean Lee, who started in the top 5, taken out. He's on his redemption arc, ladies and gentlemen. And he's looking to get right back on to the field. 32 minutes left to go here in this race. Lots of action to go. But Sean Lee, this might be a good race to watch here. There's more lockups. I think Ryan is full locking his steering wheel, and he's causing a smoke screen to Brandon Smith. But here comes Brandon now on the outside. And Sean Lee is going to follow suit side by side. 2 for 1, twice the fun. Ryan is going to go down to P11. Nightmare for him. Sean Lee slides the rear end, goes into the gravel. How much is this man pushing Sean Lee? 3 North Americans battling very hard for P9. You can see the damage on the front for Sean Lee's car. Remember, these drivers still have to make a pit stop. But take a look at this. Where do we see Sean go? Down the inside, possibly. Look to the inside. Has the inside, in fact. Can he stick this move side by side around the outside, around the bus stop chicane? Gets the move done. Sean Lee up in the 9th position. Textbook move on him. And take a look at this. This is probably where Ryan is getting move on. Brandon Smith locks up on the inside. Oh, trouble for him. Shifts it into a wrong gear, perhaps, and this time cannot nail the move on turn 1. This is incredible racing here in the mid-pack. But Sean Lee is free now, and the quest for Sean continues now as he is trying to build up. Meanwhile, we look back up to the top 3 here. You look at Andy Rees, he's got a long way to go. He's got just about 9 seconds and 13 seconds to the leader. 9 seconds to Oswin Wilson. So a lot of hard work for him to do. But that BMW is scary quick around here. That's for sure. So he currently sits P3 at the moment. Pit stops still need to happen. And we're going to find out how that turns out very soon. Meanwhile, we also have potential another move here. Debut for Steinberg now has a chance to overtake Lance in this here. We last saw Lance at P9, but here comes Evan now on the inside here. Side by side in the Mustang, dives it. Sweet as you like, gets the move done. Beautiful move there from Steinberg in his debut race. Currently sits P14 now in this race. Next up, it's Marlon Young for X-Play, just up the road. His teammate, Martin Webster, is P12. 30 minutes left to go in this race. A long one, but still lots of action to go down here today. So, don't go anywhere. The action is still getting underway, and so it is now with your commentator. My name is Rahul Nasir from Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. If you're just tuning in, we've had a hell of a start to this Belgium Grand Prix. Huge pileup at the Kemmel Straight, leaving some of the mid-pack all shuffled up. You have some drivers like Andrew Ruben Ryan currently sitting P7. Never been that high up before. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Sean Lee has already caught up to Enzo. Ferrari versus McLaren. Here we go on the inside. On board with the McLaren and Enzo as they head into Eau Rouge. Oh, wow, it's contact. Oh, and what's that weaving? And Sean Lee's out. Sean Lee's out. So you really got to watch the weaving there. Has Sean Lee retired? I think he has. And that is not the way to defend. Enzo is definitely getting a penalty for that one. Weaving on to go into Eau Rouge, keeping your car unpredictable and causing contact. That may be a penalty. That is a big no-no in racing. Enzo gets away scot-free. Sean Lee, though, is out of this race, and that is a huge shame. Sean was pushing so hard in his debut, re-debut back here for 2025, and unfortunately, that's going to be your next retirement. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Andy Rees, fastest lap of the race once again. But big slap on the wrist there for Enzo there. That needs to be addressed after the race. That is for sure. Meanwhile, though, he currently sits P8. Brandon Smith is catching up, trying to close up the gap. Meanwhile, the gap for Andy Rees and Oswin Wilson starting to go down. You also see some traffic there for Aussie as he just about gets past his fellow countryman, the Guyanese of Jarrell Moore. Gets through. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Lance Nasir. Now it's blue flags for the leader. He's chasing down the Lamborghini of Henry. So Van der Hayden, the Canadian, trying to get through, as there you see Van Doren also lapping the two cars there, the two Canadians, as they go through the chicane. And his pace has been, strength and pace has been cut down just a little bit to 5.8 seconds. But 100 views already total on the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and support us. We are on course for 650 subscribers. Tune in next week as we continue this championship, as we head into the Italian Grand Prix at Misano. You do not want to miss it. These drivers are going to have another challenge to face. A shorter circuit in Misano, but still going to be a hard one. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Martin Webster and Brandon Smith battling it out for 9th position. A little bit wide there is Martin Webster. Webster, the Guyanese, is our inaugural GT Challenge champion back in 2022. Look at the damage there on the Valhalla car. Brandon Smith, however, he's been through a lot for the start of this one. Comparing that to the car ahead. Oh, and Webster into the gravel, into the grass even, cutting it. Gets it recovered, but unfortunately is going to lose a position. We'll have dirty tires as they go into the double gosh. Brandon Smith, easy as you like, will go up into 9th position. So, let's continue this race on and look at our drivers here. 25 minutes left to go in this one. Unfortunately, Ash Hamilton, Sean Lee out of this race. We were unable to see Oliver Bloch, was not even able to make the start of the race, but should hopefully see him in the next one. Meanwhile, as we continue this race on, there is Stephen Bola currently sitting in 16th position. The points are going to go to the top 10, as well as a fastest lap bonus 1 point for the driver who, of course, sets the fastest lap of the race. P4 there from Danny Nasir, and he already has a fellow OG of CMRSC and another McLaren, Klaus Klint. This is going to be a good battle here, and Baiano is not too far behind. This is your battle here for 4th position. Meanwhile, Enzo there against Martin Webster and Brandon Smith. This is going to be looked at here. Remember, Sean Lee went off because Enzo was weaving, making himself unpredictable. Was he getting on his line too late? Did he react to a move? It did look like it was worthy of a penalty. They head up Eau Rouge now. Oh, and just about. Webster gets the move done. Through Eau Rouge, a very risky move, that's for sure. Here comes Brandon Smith, however. Fakes it to the inside. What a move there, and gets it done. The Ferrari goes to the inside. Oh, it's very close. Side by side still. Enzo fighting with all his might. And oh, and it's contacted Enzo. Hits the side pod of the McLaren. Is that karma, or was it a genuine mistake? Enzo unfortunately goes down the order. That black all-carbon Ferrari, unfortunately, getting into the side pod of that McLaren, unfortunately cannot get it done. Meanwhile, we get up to this fight here, and take a look at this as Lance Nasir in the background lets through blue flags of Anderson Baiano. We can now get to this fight here. Meanwhile, you look at your top 3. Andy Reese has closed that gap up to 4.8 seconds to Oswin Wilson. We might see a huge fight for 2nd position. Remember, pit stops still need to get underway very soon. But this is your fight that we're watching on our screens. This is the fight for 4th position. So there you see Bola just on your screen there in the foreground. Danny Nasir in the CMRSC McLaren. He's going to have a fight with himself and the Viking, Klaus Klint. Klaus now is going to have a huge opportunity to take down and get the Danish up another position. So there's going to be a huge fight here. Let's take a look at it on board now. 2 McLarens going at it. Meanwhile, in the pits is Martin Webster, one of your first drivers to jump in for a pit stop. Short shifting into 5th gear. As you watch now, over the curb of the double gosh section. Gap now really close. Meanwhile, another close battle we have is this one right here. Marlon Young, Brandon Smith. Another X-Play driver battling against the American here. What's going to happen? Let's see it. Side by side. On the straight now. First of the late breakers. Doesn't matter. Marlon gets it done before they get to the braking zone of the chicane. Through the Camel Straight, Marlon Young gets up a position. Can we see Brandon Smith fight back? Meanwhile, oh, and there we see a drive-through for Ryan Maramiri for cutting the circuit. Too many cuts, unfortunately, for him. And that's going to send him into a drive-through penalty. As meanwhile, we have some pit stops going underway. Clausen for his stop. So pit lane's busy. Jarrell Moore, I believe, is also in the pits. Yes, he is. He's also sitting in pits. Meanwhile, 3.4, Andy Rees to Oswin Wilson. So this could be a very close battle here. Webster, who's fresh tires, in the middle of this battle. Oh, in trouble. That's a stricken car there. I think he just got out the way. I don't think his car broke down. Klaus in the pits. As he's now exiting pits, I should say. But the gap now is closing a lot here. Webster, of course, is blue flag, so needs to get out the way. Or needs to hope that the car ahead of him and behind him make a pit stop. Just under 20 minutes left to go in this first race of the championship. 20 viewers concurrent watching the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Here we go. So this is lap traffic, of course, so Webster does need to let go of the position, and he does. 2.5 seconds, though. The gap, you gotta imagine, what does Wilson do? Maybe head into the pits, potentially, before he gets any move done. And he is. That is exactly my thought. And, oh, take a look at this. So, the dream come true for Webster, so he doesn't have to let go of anybody. And both Andy Rees and Oswin Wilson in the pits. This could be huge. So, who's going to be the first driver to come out on track? Meanwhile, Ryan, also in the pits as well, has left the top two, or should I say, top one of Mike Van Doren to be free. Meanwhile, take a look at this. Evan now on his charge up the field as well, trying to look for his first points. Two drivers trying to make their points debut in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Chasing down the Ferrari is Evan Steinberg. The American versus the Brazilian. They also have the leader, the Flying Dutchman, just behind them. Needs to let through some point. Oh, and take a look at that. We also have another battle just up the road. I think that's for position. Might not be. Could be lap traffic. So a lot of these drivers with their pit stops really shuffling around who goes where. Oh, a little bit wide there. Evan actually letting through blue flag. So very smart. And probably going to follow Van Doren. So wherever Van Doren goes, Evan will go too. Lap traffic there has to get out the way, and Enzo just about does so. Goes a little bit deep though on corner exit, but take a look at this. Anderson Baiano on Klaus. Remember, pit stops were made. And side by side through Eau Rouge, the McLaren's going to be able to edge in front before they get to the corner. Klaus up the position, but remember the slipstream, very powerful. Looks like the McLaren does have the legs to stay ahead. So Klaus, great strategy to keep ahead of Anderson Baiano. Good stuff from him, that's for sure. Brandon Smith enters the pit lane. This battle's not over yet. Baiano really chasing down nose to tail the two GT3 cars are. Looks to the inside. We know that this is the favorite spot to get the move done for the Brazilian. Can't get it done. Lock up there for Clint side by side. They're about to head into no name now. Gravel on the outside, but Baiano will get the move done beforehand. Anderson Baiano gets the move on Klaus. Great fight between them. Awesome stuff. Meanwhile, this battle very soon to get underway. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Rees against Oswin Wilson. Remember, Andy was leading this Grand Prix at the start, lost the lead to Van Dorn, and then Andy just played damage limitation to try to keep up, and unfortunately contact was made side by side through the tighter section of the double gosh. But it was Van Dorn who was able to stay out on top, with Rees facing the wrong direction. But this is an amazing recovery, and even a second position could give him driver of the day. I mean, he's in contention with a lot of drivers. Don't forget, Anderson Baiano, amazing overtakes on the board. Sean Lee, unfortunately, might get driver of the day, but unfortunately retiring early on. Drive-through taken for Maramiri. As, trouble. Who's there on the back straight? That's Klaus! Sliding the car. And here comes Danny Nasir. Now Danny has a chance at putting a position down on Klaus there. Klaus locking up quite a lot. And we are just under 15 minutes left to go. So, 2/3 of this race complete. Final 15 minutes left to go. We also have one extra lap to do it. 1.6 though, the difference between Andy Rees and Oswin Wilson. This could be a battle we should be sticking on very soon. We also have another battle, the two McLarens for P5. We take a look at that now. That is actually our closer battle on track. And we look at that on board now. We watch Danny Nasir trying to chase down. But I think Klaus may have flat spotted his tires as he was battling with Anderson Baiano, and that left him in trouble. Because he's been locking up ever since. He's ruining his tires. Danny Nasir clips the gravel. Not going to help him for his fight for P5. And going through the double gosh section. Meanwhile, the gap's getting closer. 1.4. The difference. Heading on to the front straight after turn 1. Accelerating out. Let's take a look at that speedometer. Let's see how quick this one's gonna happen. Actually, we'll take a little pause here because we have a closer battle on our hands. Martin Webster side by side with Enzo. Guyana versus Brazil here. Around the outside, let's see what's gonna happen here. Trying to hold on in the Ferrari. Enzo's really having to battle with everybody. Pushed off wide a little bit is the Aston Martin on the inside. Heavy steer into it. Oh, it loses momentum. Loses the position, and Webster goes through. Meanwhile, let's get back up to this battle, because this one is getting closer, and we might have to stick with it permanently. Here we go. Lap traffic up ahead. I think that's either Klaus or Brandon. It's Brandon Smith, P12. They're catching up to him fast. He's going to just get out the way, but they're heading into the double gosh section. Could potentially slow down. Yeah, it is going to. Brandon stayed as much as possible to the inside, but he's just about going to get out the way. And they're going to continue racing now. 6/10. Under a second. Oswin Wilson in the Mercedes. Mercedes versus BMW here for second position. Andy Rees, Oswin Wilson. Welcome back, Oswin Wilson. Two former champions of CMRSC. Andy Rees, a multi-time champion, Rookie of the Year in 2024. Oswin Wilson, your 90s touring car champion. Huge faces of CMRSC, past and present, going at it now as they're on the back straight. Looks to the outside. What does Wilson do? Has to hold his line. Both of them going a little bit wide there. Into the left-hander, both going deep. Dirty air for the BMW, that's for sure. Hard battle. Lance Nasir up the road. Lock up though from Wilson. Ruining his momentum. Just about get out the way for Lance Nasir. 7/10 the difference. We are 11 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this round 1 of this race. All right, this time we're gonna take a look at that speedometer. Let's see how fast this overspeed could be. Slipstream could be effect. So far, the acceleration for the Mercedes is allowing Wilson to stay ahead. And by a good margin, too, through Eau Rouge. Little bit of a lift. Through Radion. Through the Kemmel and onto the Kemmel straight. 260. 200 and is it 70? 270. Climbing. 275. I almost saw into the braking zone of the chicane. Wilson on the straight, able to hold on very well. 2 cars, front engine each. It's been known in CMRSC that the Mercedes have been boats, but TRR have done an amazing job with these cars, giving us some incredible racing, and you're about to see it there, an amazing mod pack. Oh, and Wilson, feeling the pressure of the Danish driver. Here we go into the double gauge section. Osman goes a little bit wide there. Loses just a tad bit of momentum, but if he has a lower wing setup, he could potentially eke out on the straights. But the cornering on the BMW, oh so well, able to hang on for dear life on the outside. 10 minutes to go. Wilson defending, Rees attacking into campus. Meanwhile, Evan and Ruben Orion battling with each other, but this is a very important battle that we watch on our screens now. On the back straight, gap is 3.5. Slowing down and getting closer. And Oswin holding on as Van Dorn puts in the fastest lap at 2:17.252, oblivious to what's going on behind him. A look to the outside as Andy Rees does not find any space to put a move down on the front straight. Once again, another lap goes by and another lap where Rees is not ahead of Oswin Wilson. No surprise attack on the inside. I did see a Ferrari going to the pit. That's Enzo. On to the straight once more. 9 minutes left to go. Meanwhile, take a look at this. These two drivers have been battling a lot. Let's give them some TV time. It's Ruben Orion against Steinberg. American versus the Canadian. 2 young drivers here in CMRSC. Ruben Orion, both of them in Mustangs, by the way. So they're having a great battle between each other. Oh, almost in the gravel. In the gravel goes Ruben Orion. Meanwhile, Andy Rees still nose to tail against that pesky Mercedes. Force him into an error. That might be the game plan. The gap still 0.3 the difference as we're on board with Andy Rees. Incredible racing these two guys are doing. This is what Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's all about. Hard-fought racing, no matter what position it is. This time, though, it's for second position. As we continue on this battle here. Into the chicane now. Both of them very identical. We gotta watch pace difference and lap times to see what these guys are doing. But any little mistake could cause them. A little bit of a wiggle I saw from Wilson. We gotta see what kind of lap times they're both doing. 15-second gap, though, between these two drivers and Mike Van Dorn, who Van Dorn still in the lead. Into the braking zone once more. The bus stop chicane lockup for both of them. Great exit there from Oswin Wilson, able to get away. 7 minutes to go. Just 7 to do it. Bit more lockup from both the drivers. They are cooking their tires, but as we get into the closing stages of this Belgium Grand Prix, who cares? Fight, fight, fight. And for this first round, we are getting a taste, a little taste of what this championship is going to be like. This championship fight, potentially. Oswin Wilson, Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn, top 3 in this race. This is amazing racing. And they have not been side by side just yet. This is still a nose-to-tail battle. Can Oswin Wilson for Guyana hold off of the 2024 Rookie of the Year? Oswin, though, loses the back end, and here comes the BMW around the outside. This could potentially be the move for second position. Holding on still side by side. Rees to the inside, and Rees gets it done. Andy Rees gets the move done. A little mistake from the Mercedes of Oswin Wilson was just enough. Just enough, I will say, to get the move done. A good defensive move. As much as he could defend, Oswin could not. Rees goes through. You look at the top left, that is your driver pedals and steering. That's what the drivers are doing in the car. A great move there from Andy Rees. Textbook, I will say. But this battle is not over yet until the fat lady sings. But the gap is going down fast. 5 minutes to go as well. Just more pressure for Wilson. Can he get back this second position, or is it lights out for him? Lock up there for Andy Rees, but looks like he's just about checked out. Just about checked out of here and is on a one direct flight to Italy. As you see there, Ruben Ryan, lap traffic, of course, could put Andy Rees in a bad line at any point. Going through Eau Rouge, and looks like our man in P2 is going to get him at not Stavolo, but the Camel. And yes, he will. And back in the slipstream there's P9. That is what Andrew is trying to chase after for some more sweet points. Meanwhile, lock up there. Oh, and Oswin! Oswin loses and hits the wall out of the chicane! And that's gonna do it for that battle. It is over. Oswin Wilson will settle for third position unless Rees does make a mistake. But that's the nail in the coffin because Baiano is just going on to turn one. Wilson losing it. I assume. Ruben Ryan turning in. May have got scared for the moment, but both of them were, well, at least Ruben Ryan was under control of his Lamborghini. Sorry, should I say Ford? His Ford he was under control, but unfortunately could not get it done. Meanwhile, take a look at your standings there. Aston Martin, BMW, Mercedes, Ford, McLaren. Your top five, a very diverse top five. No manufacturer is dominant. The top five is very close with each other. Take a look at this, though. Danny Nasir, is that for a position? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, folks. One final battle here. Oh, Danny, though. Maybe some worn out tires as he chases down Klaus for position. So, who's going to take P5? This may be your last overtake of the race. As gaps have opened up at the front. Van Dorn with the 17 seconds. 2 minutes left to go. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Danny Nasir. Maybe pushing a little too hard. And losing in momentum. Because Klaus is now sailing more and more into the distance. You know, Danny Nasir got some... a fresh upgrade on the sim equipment, was rocking the Thrustmaster TMX and is now with the TSPC. So a lot more Newton meters of torque to play with, can feel the car a lot more for the first time. Stronger wheels, so we're going to see strong performances hopefully, as he's currently in 6th position, battling for 5th. But there they go. 1 minute and 12 seconds. The drivers, as soon as the timer expires, are going to have 1 extra lap to do it. Here for the Belgium Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. Mike Van Doorn has dominated this race. Had a great fight at the start of it, but still under investigation of the overtake between himself and Andy Rees. Going down to the stewards and will be investigated after the race, that's for sure. But currently, he's in the lead and he's going to take a dominant win. P2, Andy Rees, recovery drive at its finest, as he just has Martin Webster to lap ahead of him. He can take his time though, because Oswin Wilson is nowhere to be seen behind him after a mistake from him. But Andy Rees played recovery amazingly and is up into 2nd position. Oswin Wilson fought with all his might to keep 2nd all race long, was gifted to him, but unfortunately unable to hold off. 3, 2, 1, timer has expired. Now it's not checkered flag, of course. We still have 2 laps to go here for this one. But the timer is up. But what a race, though, for these drivers here for this opening round for the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. TRR, thank you once again for allowing us to use these amazing mods here. We have amazing paint schemes on track as well, but this championship, thank you so much for allowing us to use these amazing cars. And folks, we're in for a treat. These cars are going to give us some amazing battles. Go support the Racing Rats, that's for sure. And if you want to get on the action, join our Discord. Link is in the description. And get in on the action. We race every Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just to not confuse you guys at home, we do still have 2 laps to go. As that's not going to show it. But we do have 2 to go. I think if I can find it, of course. So there we go. We're going to see our white flag at the top of the screen. So still 2 to go, but our race leader is going to come out the 1 to go right about now. So here we go. Mike Van Doorn, 18-second lead, is going to come across the line now, and he's going to begin the final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. But take a look at that map. P1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the only cars yet to get lapped. The top 5, Danny Nasir, Anderson Baiano, Oswin Wilson, Andy Rees, and your race leader, who's doing all the lapping, Mike Van Doorn. So as he continues on for this final lap around here at Spa, remember next week we head to Italy for the Italian Grand Prix at Misano, a legendary track for GT racing. And it's going to be nothing but epic around here. Take a look at this, though. Klaus has entered the pits, making his mandatory pit stop. Of course, he is now made that. Any battles on track to watch? Do not think so. We do have Martin Webster, however, chasing down Steinberg. This is a battle, actually. But I don't know if we're going to see what happens. We're going to find them at the end of this one. He's closing up fast, though. You will say, Martin Webster. But all drivers have now made their pit stops. As well as Jerome Moore also coming in for his stop. Taking a look at this battle for P7, of course. 1.6 the difference. But meanwhile, let's look at this man. Mike Van Doorn ended 2024 in second position, led the championship until the final round at Mosport, where he was in second against Luca Andretta, lost the championship right then and there. But 2025 is a different year, a different, brand new year for Mike Van Doorn. And Mike wants to be the man to beat. As Van Doorn now comes around the bus stop chicane, Mike Van Doorn is your first race winner of 2025. He wins the Belgium Grand Prix here at Spa. P2, Andy Rees has played damage recovery amazingly, and in the BMW, he's gonna settle for P2. The rivalry between Van Doorn and Rees begins as he finishes second position. Oswin Wilson fought as much as he could, as hard as he could, unfortunately could not get it done. He's gonna finish in third position. And what a race for him. That's your top three there. I think the order got shuffled up quite a bit on our end. Anderson Baiano. Where is he? There he is. We got a bit of a gap here. There's a couple drivers already coming across the line. Webster was not able to get past Steinberg, so they're 7th and 8th respectively. Baiano, I know it's his 10th, but he is going to be finishing in 4th position. And Danny Nasir will take a beautiful P5 as well. Great start to this championship, but it's this man, the Flying Dutchman, Oswin Wilson, who's taken a race win here, the first one of the year. Congratulations to the Dutchman on an amazing performance. Takes the lead of the championship, and I think he might take the fastest lap as well. Race winner. Let's go talk to our top three now. All right, amazing race there. 50 minutes complete, and we got our race winner at the end. Mike Van Doorn, you are our first winner of the year. You take victory here for the Belgian Grand Prix. Mike, how does it feel?
I mean, it's of course it's not great to have contact early on and then to win it. But yeah, I'll look at that after the race and then I'll make my judgment on that. But after that incident, it was basically a flawless race for me. I was able to get through the lap traffic fairly easily as well, so that's nice. I think most of them were very respectful and stayed predictable, and then also some of them just let us by completely, so that's nice. Only had one I mean, it wasn't really an incident, but close call with a lap car, so that's not bad. But yeah, I mean, it's still nice to win, of course, with a big gap as well at the end. Was able to drive away. And I also want to mention Andrew Ruben Ryan and Brandon Smith. Congrats on getting into the points. Well done, guys. So yeah, hopefully next race is a bit cleaner, and then we'll see how it goes.
Indeed, hard-fought battle between yourself and Andy led to contact, but will be reviewed after. For now, though, you're a race winner. Congratulations, Mike Van Doorn, taking the top step of the podium. And in second position, you really had a great recovery drive. Your 2024 Rookie of the Year coming in here with an amazing comeback through the field. I want to say through the field. It was mainly just one car to overtake, but it was a good battle nonetheless. Andy Rees, P2. How's that race for you?
Obviously very unfortunate with the contact at the start of the race. But yeah, I mean, I can't be too unhappy with the battle with Oswin. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened at the incident. I'll have to look it back. But yeah, unfortunate, but could have been a more lonely race. Also, lapped cars. yeah, some know how to get out the way, some don't, and it's very frustrating. And you end up losing a second or two, like a couple laps. But yeah, also my steering wheel fell off my table, so that was fun. Yeah.
Oh man. Nonetheless, though, take us through. Do you know what happened on your side of the story of that incident between yourself and Van Dorn?
I was way too invested in my driving. I'll have to look it back. I have no clue.
Fair point, fair point. Well, take a rest there. A good recovery up to second place. Congratulations on it. And then, P3, Oswin Wilson. Welcome back to CMRSC. And you had a great defensive race with yourself and Andy Rees. Unfortunately, you did come on the short end of the stick, but between that top three fight, especially at the start of the race, pretty close. Oswin, welcome back. How was that race for you?
Yeah, it's good to be back, thank you. The race was kind of okay. I know I didn't have the pace because really wasn't comfortable with the car setup, so I just know P3 was the best I could do. So my main aim was to just try and defend and to see if I could get lucky to get the P2, but he was just way too fast and he was way better on the brakes than me, so that was the race for me.
You've been with us through a lot of GT3 championships. This one, with these brand new cars, how do they feel?
The car feels okay, but there's a lot of setup works you need to do in order to get it to do the normal times you do on these tracks. But I guess a lot of persons, really fast persons, didn't really get a hand on the setup, but the setup is the main thing when it comes to these cars.
Indeed. Well, nonetheless, though, a great third position, hard-fought battle between yourself and Andy. Could have been second, but a great race from you nonetheless. Hope to see you next week out and continue this championship on. Other than that, great racing from you there, Oswin. Congratulations on P3.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's going to do it there. We're going to sign off the stream quickly. If you got to go somewhere, you're free to go. Thank you so much for joining us for this first race of the championship. If you want to stay in for the debrief, we're going to have a short one just as soon as the stream ends, just in about 2-3 minutes time, so you can stay in the voice chat. We're going to talk about some of the incidents, and yeah, if you got to go, thank you for joining us for this first race. Almost basically 20 drivers, I think, were in for this one, so thank you for all the support for this first round. Hopefully we'll see you for the next round. Should be also amazing. We head into Misano. And yeah, so we're going to close off the stream now, and I'll come back for the debrief. So, incredible racing there. Thank you so much for tuning in to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. As the drivers sit in the pits now, thank you for tuning in. What a race! Huge pileup at the start. But we had some great battles after that, and after the drivers really got settled down, we saw some talent there. Who's your driver of the day, by the way? We had Andy Rees coming up back and overtaking Oswin Wilson. You had Anderson Baiano, yet Sean Lee. Great drivers, definitely deserving of that one. Congratulations to all our drivers who did take part in today, and thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 650 subscribers. Like the stream if you liked it, and we will see you in 1 week's time, 7 days, when we head into Italy, where the party just continues from there. We'll see you then for the Italian Grand Prix at Misano.